Hi everyone and welcome to this cozy hip opening flow. This is a really nice one to do just before bed. So get into some comfy clothes, roll the mat out and let's get started.
Okay, so we're going to start by laying down onto your yoga mat, getting nice and comfy. Take the soles of the feet together and the knees out nice and wide for Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined butterfly pose. If you find that this pose gets a little bit uncomfortable as we go on, you can always place a couple of pillows or blocks underneath your thighs to support yourself. We are going to hold some poses a little bit longer today. So just know that you can make movement, you can come out of poses to make it a little bit more comfortable for yourself. So just breathing there. When you're ready, bring the knees up into the chest for a wind relieving pose, really squeezing those knees in and then out towards the armpits. You know, if it happens, it happens. We love a wind relieving pose here. Take a little bit of a rock side to side or rolling through the hips there. Couple more breaths like that. And then we're going to take the right foot down near to the bum, and then the left ankle is going to hook over the top of that right thigh, coming into a reclined pigeon. You can stay there, or like I've done, bring the knees up in towards you, interlacing the hands behind that right thigh. With each exhale, squeezing that knee in towards you a tiny bit more, and keep it nice and active in those feet as well. And then from here, we're going to bring that left foot down towards the floor. So keeping the legs as they are, and then just twist, taking that left foot down towards the floor. Or you can use a block here as well, taking the gaze over in the opposite direction, finding a gentle little bit of a twist there. Still continuing to press that left knee away to keep that stretch in the hip. Couple more breaths here. And then come all the way back to center. Switching the legs over. So this time left foot plants down and the right ankle comes over that left thigh for our reclined pigeon. And again, you can stay there or you can start to bring the left knee in towards you, interlacing the hand behind the left thigh. Again, few breaths here. We're holding this one. Remember to keep nice and active in the feet as well. So we're not neglecting the feet here. We're keeping nice and active. And then again, finding that twist on the other side. So this time, keeping the legs as they are, right foot comes down towards the floor. Take the gaze over towards the opposite side. Keep pressing that right knee away from you. Keep that nice stretch in the hips. And then coming back to center. Squeeze those knees in and then start to rock up and down through the spine a couple of times. This can feel really nice. So as many times as you want to here. If you can, hop all the way up into Malasana Yogi Squat. So I'm just turning around here, you don't have to, just so that you can see. Take a couple of little rocks side to side here, easing into those hips, lifting one heel off and then the other. And then find some stillness. Placing the left hand down, right arm reaches up, press that left knee away with the left elbow opening towards the right. And as well there, just opening that right knee out to the side using the strength of the leg. Opposite side, opening up towards the left side this time. Again, guiding that left knee away. Notice if it starts to collapse in as we twist. Rocking forwards onto the hands and the knees into a tabletop position. We're going to work on a little bit of hip mobility here. So bring the knees together as you inhale, take that right leg out to the side like a little dog weighing on a lamppost, keeping everything else nice and still. One more time. And then we're going to take that same leg back. So keep that bend in the leg, sole of the foot up. Nice, using the strength of that right glute to lift the leg. And we're going to bring both of those movements together. So taking the leg out to the side, up and back to center, back, around and down, up, back and down. One more time, up, around and all the way down. Now we're going to do that again on the other side. So right leg just coming out to the side to begin with, keeping everything nice and stable. And then taking that same leg back behind you, kicking the leg back and all the way back to center. Keeping the spine nice and straight here. Finding that circular movement again, putting those two movements together, taking the leg out and up and all the way back to center, and finding the reverse up and all the way round and back and down. Tuck the toes under, press the hips all the way up and back into downward facing dog. Take a little bit of a pedal out through the hips. And then we're going to find a bit of a hip sway here. So as you inhale, coming up onto the toes, we're going to lower the hips over to one side, bending the knees lots. Inhale, back up. Exhale, other side. Inhale up and exhale over. Just keep that going with your own rhythm of breath, gently working into those hips, into those legs. Take it nice and slow. Couple more times. And come all the way back to center. Lift the right leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Bend into that top leg, stack the hips and step the foot in between the hands. Help it up there if you need to. Drop that back knee down, sinking into this low lunge. Interlace the hands onto that thigh, sinking there, opening up through that left hip flexor, the front of that left thigh. From here, take the hands down to the inside edge of the right foot. Walk the right foot out to the side and sink the hips down into your lizard pose. If you feel quite open in the hips today, you can maybe come down onto the forearms. You can use a yoga block here underneath the hands to lift yourself up a little bit higher. There's loads of options here to help you find a really nice deep stretch in the hips. So no matter what you think this pose might should look like, you can take whatever variation you want to go for. Bring the left hand down to the ground, right hand presses the right knee away, roll onto the outside edge of that front foot, sink the hips even more. With each exhale, concentrate on sinking those hips. Option here to bend into the back leg, maybe grabbing hold with the right hand, just an option, finding a little bit of a quad stretch here. And then releasing both hands back down. We're going to walk that right foot over to the opposite side. It might take a little bit of maneuvering, coming into a pigeon pose on that right side. So walking that left foot back behind, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, walk the hands forward, coming onto the forearms maybe. If you have a pillow or a block, you can place that underneath the forehead. That feels quite nice sometimes. And if this doesn't feel very comfortable today, you can always come back into that reclined pigeon that we started the practice in. So just bear that in mind. And also, as I said at the beginning, in these longer holds, sometimes things might start to feel a little bit more intense. So just know you can make movement here. You can come out of it a little bit more to make things more comfortable. Twist over towards that bent leg. And then from here, we're going to bring that back foot up, the back knee up rather. I'm just turning so that you can see what I'm doing. Coming into a 90-90 position here. This is sometimes, again, quite an intense stretch in the hips. For a moment, just lean the body forward, settle in here. Notice how that's feeling. That internal rotation, that back leg can feel quite juicy. So just take it nice and easy. Now twist over towards that back leg and try leaning forward. You can see that I'm not going super far forward here, and I'm still really, I promise you, feeling that stretch. So just take it nice and easy. And then from here, bring that back foot, the back heel, sort of more underneath the bum or towards the bum. And then we're going to take the hands back behind, leaning back. So you can be up on the hands, you can bring it down to the forearms, you can even come all the way down onto the ground. That's another option as well. And we're looking for quite a decent stretch through the quad muscle, so the front of that left thigh here. We've really tucked that heel underneath us quite a bit, breathing into that stretch. Remember, you can be up on the hands, you can be down on the forearms. Just take this at your own pace. When you're ready to come out, roll over onto the right side and come forward. We're going to make our way all the way back into a downward facing dog. Take your time. Other side, left leg reaches up, three-legged dog, bend into that top leg, stack the hips open, and then step that foot in between the hands, drop the back knee down into that low lunge, sink the hips, interlace the hands on top of the thighs, sinking forward. Couple of breaths here again, if it's comfortable, just with each exhale maybe sinking a little bit further into that stretch in that hip flexor. From here, bring both hands down to the inside edge of that left foot. Walk the left foot out to the side, coming into that lizard pose on the other side. Take a moment here, maybe coming down onto the forearms, maybe using a block if you did on the other side. It's completely up to you. Coming back up onto the hands if you're not already. Plant the right hand down, left hand comes to that left thigh and press that knee away, rolling onto the outside edge of the left foot. Sink the hips any amount more. Maybe bending into that back leg, grabbing hold of the foot with the left hand. Just an option here, only if it feels okay in those hips, in those knees. And then release everything back down. We're going to again shuffle that left foot over towards the opposite side. Take your time coming into pigeon on the other side. So dropping that left knee behind the left wrist. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, folding forward into that pigeon stretch. Again, like on the other side, if reclined pigeon is more your vibe today, then just take that instead. You know, as always, we're moving at our own pace. We're taking the options that feel right for us. Just take a little scan of the body as we're in pigeon, releasing as much tension as you can. Sometimes when there's quite an intense stretch in one area of the body, we compensate in other areas. So just notice that and maybe let a little bit of tension go if you can. Walking back up, twisting over towards that left knee. And then again on the other side, we're going to come into that 90-90 position. So left knee comes, right knee rather, comes up to your side, and we're leaning forward to begin with. You might notice that one side feels a little bit tighter than the other. That's totally normal as well. Twisting over towards that back leg and leaning forwards as much as you can. Couple more breaths here. Breathing into that stretch. One more breath. And then we're going to come back, tucking that left, I keep saying left, right heel back underneath you a little bit more, shuffling that knee forward, and then leaning back into this. So again, maybe we're up on the hands, maybe we're down on the forearms, or even lying all the way down like I'm doing here. It's completely up to you. Breathing here into that stretch, sending the breath to wherever you're feeling that stretch. And then again, when you're ready to come back out of it, roll over to the left side and find a seated position. So I'm going to turn to face you again. You don't need to do this. We're going to place the right knee over the top of the left. So trying to stack the knees. One knee might be quite high up than the other and resting on the sides of the feet. When you're ready in this half cow face pose, we're going to lean forwards. And this again is maybe quite an intense stretch in the outside edges of the hips. Just breathe through it. Only come down as far as is comfortable for you. We're taking it nice and easy, especially if you're doing this just before bed. One more breath here. And then start to make your way all the way back up. There's a bit of a funky transition on this one. Take your hands over to the left side. Keep your feet exactly where they are. Walk the hands all the way round, and maybe you might end up on the other side with the opposite leg on top. If not, don't worry, just bring the left leg on top of the right, stacking the knees and then folding forwards. Again, just notice if one side feels a little bit looser than the other. That's completely normal. It's just great practice to notice these differences so that we can maybe work towards balancing everything out a little bit. One more breath here. And then start to come all the way back up. Unraveling the legs, you might need to help that top one off. Take the feet nice and wide and hands back behind you, just windshield wipering the legs from one side and then the other. It's going to feel really great after that really intense cow face stretch. Couple more times. Do this as many times as you want to. And you're done. Have a wonderful rest of the day. See you next time.